Welcome back to another weekend prep video, and happy, I almost said Friday. It's Saturday, it's Saturday. Happy Saturday. All right, so I have so much to catch you guys up on, so I thought I would just put my makeup on while we chat a little bit. So it's about 9:30. I slept in this morning because, did y'all know that high school football games are like really late at night? I gotta tell you, I haven't been in high school in about, 20, 25 years, something like that. And Kira this year actually quit. She quit swim after last season, which we kind of talked about it as a family and we were all okay with that. She had done swim for like 7 or 8 years at that point. Connor was also done with it. He wanted to start football. He wanted to do basketball. He wanted to spend more time with soccer, which he really enjoys, and is he's quite a good goalie. That's the position that he plays. None of my kids really like excelled at swim. Like, they were okay. And what I found is that they just got older and older. Most of the coaching would be focused on the really good kids, like the kids that go to state, which, like, I kind of get that, but the kids kind of see that too. And so they were just kind of over. They were kind of over swim, and so they quit that. We told Kira, you have to pick some activity. You can't just not do an activity. She's a freshman in high school this year. So without any prompting, I'm serious, she chose to be in color guard, which I find quite funny because I was also in color guard in high school. And obviously color guard is part of marching band. If you don't know what color guard is, it's like flags. The flags that are in the marching band. Okay, so before we go any further, I have to tell you guys about the body wash that I used this morning in the shower and that I have been loving recently. It is from Native, and I'm so excited that Native is sponsoring today's video. So thank you to them. I've been wanting to work with them for such a long time here on my channel. Okay, so I got sweet peach and nectar. I love that one. And then I also got cucumber mint. That one smells delightful as well. And then I got sage and sweet citrus. I think honestly my favorite is the sweet peach and nectar. Highly recommend that one. Okay, so a couple of reasons why I really love Native body wash is that they have a huge range of scents. If you guys go on their website, they literally have something for everyone. I normally look for really awesome scents in a body wash. I really like fresh or fruity scents, and they definitely have a ton of options on their website that will fit the bill. One thing I really like about Native is that I can also order it in a bundle from their website, and I'm gonna give you guys a huge discount, so just wait a second while I tell you some of the benefits of Native. They do have clean, effective, and simple ingredients that are easy to understand. They are naturally derived ingredients to help cleanse your skin. They are phthalate and dye free. They are also vegan and cruelty free, and they are made with plant-based cleansers and citric acid for pH balance to help keep your skin ultra happy. Like I said, Native has a huge range of scents to please anyone, from the subtle sweetness of vanilla with the beachiness of coconut, or you can choose a calming salty breeze with sea salt and cedar, or if you'd like something sweeter, you can enjoy the fruity sweetness of sweet peach and nectar. I got that one. It is super, super awesome. I love it. Whatever combination you can think of, they probably have it, and they also have limited edition scents launching all the time. Their long-lasting scents make you feel fresher for longer. Native leaves your skin feeling soft and hydrated and froths up into a luxurious lather without any sulfated surfactants, so it also makes a great addition to any bubble bath. It's residue free and leaves your skin feeling silky smooth while also smelling amazing. Give your personal care routine its own autumnal moment with their new Fall Escape collection. They're featuring vanilla and cactus flower, desert grass and sandalwood, honey and saguaro, and sage and sweet citrus. You can trade the conventional familiar scents of fall for the alluring scents of the Southwest autumn. If you guys take advantage of this awesome deal, you can get 3 huge bottles of Native body wash for just $18. So use my code Chapin along with the link in the description box below. 3 body washes would normally be $27, but if you use my link in the description box below and code Chapin, you'll get them for $18. That's over 33% off. So click the link down below or tap the screen right here to take advantage of this awesome deal. So last night was the first home football game, And of course the band performed at halftime, and so I went over there to watch the halftime show, but then I also had to wait up to go help or go pick Kira up after the game was over. So they have the band clean up the stadium after the football games, and so by the time I went and picked her up, it was like 11:45 at night, which is like way past my bedtime, you know. So I went and did that, and I told Adam, because Connor has football practice and a scrimmage this morning, I said, okay, if I'm going to go get Kira at midnight, you can take Connor to football practice this morning. So that was our deal. Adam has taken him over there, but they're having a scrimmage at like 10:15, and Adam and I are gonna go watch that. So that's just what I'm getting ready for right now. I'm not gonna put a ton of makeup on because obviously I'm gonna be sitting outside, and I have a ton of crap to do this weekend. So this week was like so crazy with work. I don't know, don't you find that? You have some weeks that are like more chill, some weeks that are like balls to the wall, everything is happening at once. That was this week. So it just ended up happening that I had so many deadlines. Normally, like sometimes people ask me questions like, how do you fit in YouTube stuff, you know, even though you work full time? It's like, well, I just work all the time because I'm a workaholic, and that's, you know, can be argued that that's not good, but I don't know, it's just my personality. So typically what I'll do in terms of like fitting YouTube in with my regular job is that I'll work on YouTube stuff for like an hour in the morning, so like from 6 to 7, and then after work, typically I get done with work by like 4 or 4:30. Then I can work on it for a couple hours before dinner or a couple hours after dinner. You know, I just fit it in where I can, and then of course on the weekends and stuff. However, this week I was like literally working from like on my real job from like 6 in the morning. The kids also started back to school, and so there was that like school morning craziness of like getting them, you know, out the door and lunches packed and all of that. And then I would work all day, and then I was even working into the evening. So like I would stop, make dinner, take kids practice, whatever, and then I would get back on my laptop and work on stuff until like 9 or 9:30. So I have a ton of YouTube stuff I have to catch up on this weekend as well. I made a list last night, so I didn't feel like super overwhelmed. I've also been working with a site called Freezer Fit to develop recipes for them, and that has been super fun for me. A lot of you guys have joined me over there in the membership, so I think that is super awesome. I'm really excited to be what they call an expert chef. I don't know that I would call myself an expert chef, but hey, I'll take the honorary title. On their website. So I've been doing classes for them, and I don't know, it's just been really fun to kind of work on something a little bit different than YouTube, but like still use the same skill set, you know? So if you guys haven't joined us over there, I don't know what you're doing. I talked about it in a ground beef freezer meal video, and a lot of you saw that and joined. So I'll put the links down below if you guys want to check it out. Super big time saver to do freezer cooking on the weekends. The other thing I like about their site is that there's a grocery list generator depending on what you want to make. It'll make your shopping list for you. It's super freaking cool. Okay, I'm gonna get dressed and my camera's gonna die. It also just so happens that my house cleaner hasn't been able to come for like the past 3 weeks, so I definitely have some cleaning I need to catch up on. This is my new favorite find from Torrid, and I actually ordered a bunch of stuff I need to do a try on haul, but this dress is so stinking cute and it's perfect for summer. I actually think they have it in red as well, but it's like a tank top on the top, and then it's just like a short dress, and it has pockets, which we love the pockets. And I was like, why do women get so excited when something has pockets? I said, as a man, when is the last time you had a pair of pants or shorts that did not have pockets? Tell me if you have ever owned a pair of anything that you put on your bottom half that did not have pockets. And he's like, actually, I don't think I have. And I'm like, exactly. Why do men get the pockets? Men get the pockets women usually don't get the pockets. That's why we're so excited about the pockets. Okay, so after the longest intro ever, because I can't stop yapping, I just hope that you guys come along with me this weekend. I feel really motivated to get a lot of things done, so let's get her done. This is what this dog does. I bring him outside to go to the bathroom and he just starts sunning himself in the driveway. I guess the warm concrete feels good or something. Even this week when it's been super hot. Milo, what are you doing, baby? Okay, so we're gonna go over and watch Connor at his scrimmage. Adam's gonna meet me there. He had to go to work to do a few things this morning. So it's been kind of interesting to see how nervous Connor is about football. This is his first year playing, and he's been like this with pretty much every sport. Like, we put him in a basketball camp earlier this summer and he was so nervous about that, but then like after he goes and has fun, then like everything's okay, you know. It's just interesting kind of like how kids' personalities are different. You guys can let me know if you have a kid like this, but he's one of those kids where if he's not like immediately good at something, he gets like really discouraged and down on himself. And we always have to like coach him up and say, you know, that's not how life works. Like, it's very rare that you're gonna just do something and be really good at it, like right off the bat. And so I'm like, you know, think about soccer when you first started being goalie, and then, you know, you've had specialized training and look how good you are now. And what if you would have given up, you know, at the beginning when you were still learning? Or, you know, I don't know, we try to like find like normal life examples outside of sports too. But yeah, it's just, he gets very nervous if he knows he's not going to be that good. And I said, you know, you're in 5th grade. This is your first year of football. There's plenty of other kids on your team. This is their first year too. So you're all going to be learning together. And then he's like, the coaches are mean. And so Adam's like, well, what are they doing to you that's mean? And he's like, well, they just tell us that we need to do things better. And Adam's like, that's not mean. Do you know how much in your life you're going to be told that you need to do things better? So I don't know. It's interesting to me also because I was never in sports in school. I did like different activities, like once I got older, like choir and color guard and stuff like that, but I was never in any sports. My parents just didn't like, I don't know, they didn't really put us in anything. Like, the only time I was ever in activities is when I got old enough to choose for myself, and then I was like, oh yeah, I want to do this. But like in grade school, I was never in any activities. So it's been kind of good for me to like see how like organized sports can help kids in life. Not that I think I was really like missing anything from my childhood, but I don't know. It's been interesting for me. Connor is also like pretty much bigger and taller than all of the other kids in his grade because we did hold him back for a year. He has a summer birthday and he wasn't quite ready for kindergarten yet. And so we put him in a year of pre-K, and now he is old for his grade. So he'll turn 18 before school starts his senior year. And he's tall. Obviously Adam is 6'4". And so Connor is he's grown so much this summer. He's like 5'7.5", and he's like 11 years old. And so I think too, like we've gone through this in soccer before, like he gets kind of scared to be aggressive on the field because he's afraid that he'll hurt other kids, which is totally commendable that he's that empathetic. But you know how like contact sports are, like you have to just, your goal is not to like hurt people, but you have to get out there and like get aggressive, especially in football.
Welcome to Scooters. What can I get started for you?
Hi, can I get a large iced Americano with extra ice and an extra shot? Scooters is not my preferred coffee of choice, but it's on my way to where I'm going, so. I also hope you guys know that when I make these videos and I'm like rambling, some people like say that they like this. They're like, oh, it's just like I'm like sitting talking to a friend or whatever. And I know like a lot of people like myself put YouTube on while you're, you know, working on something or working on the computer, doing dishes, doing laundry, walking on the treadmill, whatever. So always know that for the most part, I try to put timestamps in my description box. So if you want to like skip ahead to the next section of the video, if you're like, oh my God, Jen, shut up. You should always be able to do that. Yeah, I try to do that to make it easier for people who don't want to listen to me blab on about stuff. Also this weekend I've done so good so far, trying not to think about it, but I do have to be at the airport at like 5:45 a.m. on Monday for a trip. I haven't traveled in like three or 4 weeks. It's been really nice to be at home, especially with the end of summer, Connor's birthday, my birthday, starting school. I was really glad that I got to be here for all that. I do kind of feel bad for Adam next week because Kira has like early bird practices for marching band, which means she has to be at school at like 7 a.m. So he's gonna have to be like running her there in the morning, coming back, getting Connor ready for school, and then like with all the practices in the evening and stuff. But I don't know. Adam's parents live close to us, and so I think he's always like hesitant to ask them for help, but like his dad's retired, so if we're ever in a bind, like I just text them and I'm like, hey, can you run Kira over to the high school and whatever, and they're like normally really glad to do it. They're not really doing anything else unless they have something else going on. But yeah, like I know when I was in middle school and high school, my grandpa used to take me like to a lot of stuff. Like he used to like pick me up from school, take me to, if I had like color guard practice, or pick me up from choir practice, stuff like that. So I always think that's always a plus when you live by grandparents, right? That they can kind of help with that stuff. Okay, so once we got home from the football game, I just wanted something easy for lunch, so I decided to make some hot dogs. I typically don't plan meals for the weekend, especially for like breakfast and lunch, unless I know I want to make something special. On those days, I'm never quite sure what we're going to be doing, whether we're going to have to eat out or eat at home. And typically we usually have enough food in the freezer, or just like sandwiches and soups and leftovers and things that I can make really quickly. So that's typically what I tend to do for lunch on the weekend, is just easy stuff. So I went ahead and boiled the hot dogs. That is always a hot debate, how you want to cook your hot dogs. I actually do like hot dogs in the air fryer. I think they taste more like grilled hot dogs, but my kids prefer them boiled. They said they're softer that way. So anyway, that's how I normally make them. So I had a ton of cleaning to do in the kitchen. I'm actually going to do the floors and the counters and everything today, but I wanted to clean the fridge up a little bit. I still had some produce left over from the week that I needed to get washed up. So I'm just removing that and refilling the soda. One of the questions I feel like I commonly get is like, how do I get everything done for YouTube in between all the stuff that I have to do around home and for my kids and with work and everything like that? And the truth is that I just fit it in where I can. So this is an example of that. Basically, while I was doing chores, I was listening to one of my videos, writing down the links and the timestamps so I could put those in later. Yes, thanks for calling me back. I was just wondering, she doesn't have her learner's permit yet, but I was just wondering about, when we need to add her to the policy and how all that works, because we've never had a teenager before. Okay, and then the other question I had is, if and when she does get her school permit, how does that work in terms of like, if we get a less expensive car for her to drive and she doesn't drive our cars, does that save us money, or how does all that work? Okay, so that was me on the phone with our insurance agent trying to figure out what we need to do when Kira gets her learner's permit. Anyway, I'm not okay about that, by the way. For lunch today, I am having a half of a bagged salad and some chicken sausage that I cooked in the air fryer. I'm also going to go ahead and load up the dishwasher and get that going while I eat my lunch. Basically, our insurance agent said, well, if you want to save the most money, don't buy her a super expensive car. Well, hello, we are not planning on doing that. Anyway, I cannot believe how much used cars are. Adam and I were looking at them a couple weeks ago, and it's like, gone are the days when you can go out and buy a car for your teenager for a couple $1,000s. It's like the prices are crazy now. But anyway, I just wanted to talk to our agent about, our particular state and things like that. I guess in the state of Iowa, technically anyone who lives in your household, they consider that person could drive your car, even if they're not actually driving your car. Like, even if we tell our insurance company that she's not going to be driving my car or Adam's truck, like, our rates overall will still go up just because she lives here and she's a driver. So that's super interesting. Always fun things to learn. But she just turned 14 in May and she doesn't have her permit yet. She actually needs to study for that. But once she gets her permit, she can eventually get a school permit in the state of Iowa, which is obviously when she'll need her own vehicle, which I am super looking forward to, because the less we have to drive kids all around town, the easier it is, right? So anyway, lots of fun stuff with that. If you guys have teenage drivers, let me know your best tips down below. Okay, so I am just washing some dishes by hand. Of course, you guys know the never-ending water bottle washing saga now that school is back in session. I actually found some decent water bottles that are dishwasher safe. So if you guys are looking for some, I'll link those in the description box below. I know that it's always frustrating to have to buy water bottles for your kids and then you have to hand wash them. It's super annoying. Okay, so this is Connor's lunchbox. I also highly recommend these Adidas lunchboxes. They hold up great. I have 3 of them and we've had them for years. Both my kids use them. I just get them on Amazon. They're super inexpensive, so I will link those down below as well. But I think what happened is Connor took a Lunchable to school. It was one of the chicken nugget Lunchables, and those have ketchup in them. And I don't know if he threw the ketchup thing back into his lunchbox or what happened, but there was a bunch of dried ketchup in there, so I had to scrub that out. As I was scrubbing it, I thought, I should probably throw this in the washer. That would have been like way smarter, but I didn't do that. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe down the counters. I have been feeling like I really need to clear off my kitchen counters. Like, I wish I could be one of those people where you just walk in their kitchen and all of the counters are clear. But then I also look at those houses and I'm like, does anyone actually live here, or is it just like a staged home for someone to like purchase from a realtor? I mean, obviously most of our houses are going to look lived in, because that's just what happens when you have a life and you have a family and you have kids, and there's junk mail coming in all the time and school papers and all kinds of stuff. I feel like I'm pretty good at throwing the junk mail away. I've been trying to get better about like scanning documents. Like, for example, if there's like different papers that we have, like for example, like our glasses prescription or our contacts prescription or something like that, I've been better about scanning those in and then just keeping a digital file of them. One of the things I have always struggled with has been kids' art. And now that my kids are older, there's not a ton of that coming home, but Connor still does bring home things once in a while that I want to save, but I do try to be selective about that. And I do have a bin up in my office that I keep a lot of the schoolwork in. My grand vision is to one day kind of cull everything down into just a couple of 3-ring binders for my kids, because I know that when I was an adult, my mom just gave me like boxes and boxes full of school papers. And it's like, well, I appreciate that a lot of that stuff was saved and it's fun to look through. Then it just becomes like a burden on your kids to have to like sort through and get rid of. So I feel like there has to be a happy medium. Anyway, I am not being aesthetic in my Mrs. Meyer's choices this fall. In fact, I have just a bunch of scents that I'm trying to use up. A bunch of just things from Grove Collaborative. I know when I first started YouTube like 4 or 5 years ago, Grove Collaborative was like so popular. Like all of the cleaning YouTubers talked about Grove Collaborative. And so I was a member for years and I bought a lot of my cleaning supplies from them, but I honestly just stocked up so many that I canceled my subscription because I just had there were so many that I couldn't even use them all. So I'm just now going through those, but I'll have to stock back up on some different things. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and mop my floors. So what I like to do is basically take all of the chairs out from the dining room, and then I can go ahead and sweep and mop the floor and just have a clean space without any chairs in the way. Okay, so those of you guys with dogs that shed know that no matter how many times you sweep and vacuum, every time you sweep and vacuum, there is a plethora of dog hair, and this time was not any different. I know I have 2 dogs, but really Milo does not shed that much. He is like a purple lab boxer mix, and he really doesn't shed a whole lot. Plus his hair is like super short. So I've been actually trying to keep Mopping in a de-shedder and brushed out more. Now that it's summer, I sit out on the porch and de-shed him every couple days, but I don't know if this is how. Maybe it does. I don't know. Okay, so we are back to using my favorite O-Cedar spin mop. You guys, I love this thing. It actually makes it fun to mop if you don't enjoy household chores. Like, I don't enjoy household chores. I know that some people really like cleaning. I'm just not one of those people. I mean, I like the afterwards, right? But I just don't really enjoy the process of cleaning. But anyway, this is my favorite mop. I've had it for years and years and years. I'll link it down below. It is one of my absolute favorite cleaning tools. And I just use some really hot water and some Pine Sol to mop my floors. We have this kind of, I guess it's a wood laminate. It's definitely not hardwood. We chose this higher quality matte finish wood laminate when we built our house. And the reason why we chose it is because the last house we had a high gloss wood laminate, and I absolutely hated it. It was terrible to keep clean. I had toddlers at the time, and they were spilling stuff all over the floor when they ate, and it just constantly looked dirty all the time. So if you go with good wood laminate, I definitely recommend a matte finish. But here is the dining room after it was done. So I'm just going to go ahead and let that dry. We are probably going to be getting a new dining room table soon. I don't know. We'll see. I just haven't done it yet. Okay. So did you guys know that there's a filter in the bottom of your dishwasher that you need to pull out and clean? It's absolutely disgusting. I try to do mine every couple weeks, probably every month. At the most. I just put it in the sink and take it apart, and I spray it down with dish spray and scrub it out with really hot water. Definitely you want to do that, or your dishwasher will start draining really slow, and it will also start stinking. And if you're not sure how to do it, I'm sure you can find a video online of how to pull your particular one out for your type of dishwasher. Mine is super easy. It just kind of twists and then you pull it out. I'm going to use some of this Fresh dishwasher cleaner. I actually think that this one is okay, but I've used the Finish one before that I get at Walmart, and I think I actually like that one better. I think it does a better job of cleaning the stainless steel inside the dishwasher. But per the package directions, I'm going to go ahead and throw a couple of tabs in there because I haven't cleaned it for quite a while. And then I just put it on a hot cycle and let it run. Okay, so after that, I'm going to go ahead and sweep up the other part of the kitchen. The majority of our main floor is hardwood or hard floor, which I really like. We got carpet in the living room just because I thought I would like it more. I actually don't think I like it as much. In fact, we talked about maybe replacing the living room carpet with hardwood, just because with such a high traffic area like a living room, I feel like the carpet just gets worn down super fast. And so we talked about eventually when we go to replace the wood laminate, we'll just replace the whole main floor with some type of hardwood and then just get a big area rug for the living room, which I know those are kind of a pain too, because you have to roll them up and mop under them every so often. But I just feel like with dogs and with kids, and you know, it's just, I feel like hard floors are a lot easier. This area in front of my stove tends to get the most dirty because I cook a lot, and I just love being able to dump all of the dirty mop water out into the sink after you're done using this spin mop and bucket. I also really like that the mop head for this mop is detachable. So I just normally throw the mop head into the wash with like a load of towels. When I'm doing like a load of towels on hot, I'll just throw the mop head in there, and it seems to work pretty well. And obviously I'm going to scrub out my sink after I dump all of this dirty water down in there, because I am going to be doing some cooking this weekend and washing produce and stuff like that. But my floor is big enough on the first floor that I did need 2 buckets of mop water. So I'm going to go ahead and fill up another one. And by this time, the dining room was dry, so I'm going to go ahead and put those chairs back. You can actually see our Roomba on the dining room table there. Adam was actually taking out the brush and replacing that. And since I have long hair, Kira has long hair, and we have dogs, the Roomba gets like clogged up quite easily with hair. And so we do have to kind of do maintenance on it and replace the brush head every so often. So for my sink, I'm going to use the pink stuff. I actually kind of like this. I got this in a bundle on Amazon quite a while back. I can link it down below. I do like these products. I think that they work really well. I've also used this paste to scrub off my gas stove before, and I think it works pretty well. But this time I decided to use it to scrub my sink. It actually has a pretty nice, like, fresh scent without being super overpowering, so that's nice. And then I'm just going to spray it down the sink with super hot water and get that all clean. This was obviously after I have emptied the second mop bucket of dirty water. Once I clean the sink out, I like to use one of these CLR disposal cleaning tablets. I get them at Menards, actually, randomly of all places, and I really like those to clean out my disposal. So I am going to make nachos for dinner, just using some things that we had on hand. So the normal recipe that I use for white queso dip actually calls for a can of green chilies, but I didn't have those on hand. So I am using some green enchilada sauce instead, which actually worked just fine. Tasted just as good. So I can link this recipe down below, but it's super easy. Basically, you just melt some butter in a saucepan with some milk, and then I get the sliced white American cheese from Walmart. I believe it's the Land O'Lakes brand, and you can just get it in the deli. In fact, my Walmart already has it pre-sliced, so you don't even have to stand and wait for it to be sliced. You can also get it via delivery, and you put that in the pan along with the green chilies, or in my case, the enchilada sauce. And I'm just going to go ahead and stir that up, and you just want to heat it over, medium low heat for about 10 minutes until everything is combined together. And that queso actually is really good heated up as well. I know I've tried a different version before where I used cornstarch, and that one is not good heated back up again because the sauce will break and become super runny and curdled, and it's not good. I had some cooked ground beef in the refrigerator. I can't remember what I cooked this up for. I think I was maybe making some freezer meals with ground beef, and I had some left over. And so since I had that, I just went ahead and seasoned it up with some taco seasoning and added some water and some other seasoning. And here is my queso done. So that turned out super good. At the end, I just add a little bit of cumin and some chili powder and then some cayenne pepper to taste. You can also add chopped up tomatoes and cilantro to this if you want. That does give it a really good flavor. I didn't add any this time. I just kept it really plain, but you can do that if you'd like. So this is what the cheese looked like when it was done. Definitely not as white as it normally is when I use whole grain chilies, but it still tasted just as delicious. Connor and Kira both ended up having tacos because I had some flour tortillas on hand, and then Adam said he wanted nachos. So I always feel like I make tacos a lot, but it's one of those things that no one complains about. And like after I've been cleaning the house all day, the last thing I want to hear is people complaining. about dinner, right? I wanted to chop up some lettuce because I was going to have a taco salad. So I just went ahead and sliced up some iceberg that I had in the refrigerator. I've been finding that iceberg, as long as I keep it whole as long as possible, it lasts for a really long time in the refrigerator. So that's what I've been trying to do lately. And then I'm also going to cut up some cherry tomatoes. I would probably use regular tomatoes, but I didn't have any. So I'm just using, again, what I have on hand. I'm going to shred up some cheese. I didn't have any shredded cheese on hand, but I did have a block of sharp cheddar. I chopped up some cilantro. And so when I build the nachos for Adam, I just have chips and I'm going to put some shredded cheese on there. And then I put the ground beef on top of the shredded cheese, so it kind of melts that a little bit. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of queso on the top of that. I don't know if this is the proper way to build nachos, but this is how I built them. If everyone was going to have nachos, what I'd probably do is build them all on a sheet pan. Is probably what I do to feed everybody. But I sprinkled with some cilantro, with some tomatoes. I had some salsa left over from when we got takeout one night. And then I put some Mexican crema over that. And this was really good. I also added some jalapenos to the top. So now this is making me want nachos, even though they're technically really not on my diet because I'm trying to eat low carb, alas. Okay, so after dinner, I went outside because I had a bunch of plants that I needed to repot. So I had several plants, actually one from my living room, one from my kitchen, and one from my office that all needed to be repotted. This big one is called, I think it's called a bird of paradise. I got this online. I cannot remember the website that I ordered it from, but they sell like live plants and they will ship them to your house. And this has gotten quite a bit bigger since I've gotten it, but I think the pot that I've had it in has been too small for a while. So I think that has stunted its growth. And so Adam and I had gone to Menards a couple weeks before and picked up some different pots. So this is the one, this is the pot that I ended up repotting it in. It took quite a bit of soil, but hopefully now it will grow a little bit better. I was actually hoping that this one would grow taller. We stayed in an Airbnb last summer that had one of these and it was just giant. Like honestly, it was like floor to ceiling. And I'm like, I wonder how long it takes for a bird of paradise to grow that tall, probably like 10 years. I don't know. So we'll see if I can keep this one alive that long. Probably. I'm not that terrible at taking care of plants. And then I also had this small one from my kitchen that I repotted, and then one from my office as well, which you guys will see later. So this was breakfast on Sunday morning. So I just had a small bag of hash browns in the freezer that I'm going to cook up. And then Connor, I had promised him the night previously, he was like, hey, what's for breakfast tomorrow? I was like, I'll make you pancakes. And so he was very excited about that. And then I'm also going to brown up some sausage. Basically, I wanted to have some ingredients to make breakfast burritos out of, but then I was going to make a scramble or a mess. Is it called a mess, I guess, for Adam's breakfast. I just got this new nonstick skillet from Temu and I actually really, really like it. You guys will probably be seeing that in an upcoming video if you haven't already. But basically I'm going to take that sausage and just mix it in with the potatoes and stir that around. I'm going to be adding some eggs to it as well, and obviously some cheese to the top, but just kind of something different that I don't normally make for breakfast, just to kind of switch it up a little bit. So I ended up adding some eggs and cheese and jalapeno to this. And that's what I gave to Adam for breakfast. Apparently I did not get a picture of it because I don't see either a picture or a clip of it in here. But here's what I did with the leftover hash browns and sausage is I put everything into a bowl and I'm going to go ahead and mix this together and make some filling for some breakfast burritos. So one of the things I always notice when I get like prepared breakfast burritos, either from the store or from like a fast food restaurant or something like that, is that they don't really mix all of the components together with the eggs. The eggs are cooked separately, almost so that you have like bigger chunks of eggs in the breakfast burritos. I don't know. It probably doesn't really make that much of a difference, but that was just kind of my vision when I was making these, is I kind of wanted it to be like that. So I'm just adding some eggs and some cream to a measuring cup, and I'm using my little, this is called a Fisky. It's like a fork and a whisk combined. Isn't that cute? It's from Norpro. I get them on Amazon. I can link them down below. But I'm going to use this awesome nonstick skillet that I got from Temu, again, to make my scrambled eggs. This is probably my favorite nonstick skillet that I've had in a while. I don't know. It looks like it's like one of those ceramic ones. Is that what it looks like to you guys? But it is truly nonstick. Like, I know I've talked about this before, but eventually you do have to get new nonstick pans. Like, they don't last forever like cast iron or stainless steel pans do. Like, eventually the nonstick coating will start to, you know, come off within a couple of years, and then you have to replace them. But this one, I don't know. I mean, obviously I recently got it, but it seems to be working really well so far, and I've used it for a lot of different things, and it seems to be very nonstick, but still crisp things up very well. So that's what I definitely want. I used all of my eggs, so I'm just going to go ahead and put those back into my little plastic egg container. I like this because it holds more eggs than a regular egg carton does, and it doesn't take up as much room as an 18 pack in the fridge. So I'm going to go ahead and take my cooked scrambled eggs and mix those in with the sausage and the potatoes that I have in this bowl. And then, do you remember the queso that I had from last night? Okay, here comes my genius idea. See how clean that pan is after I got the eggs out of there? I feel like it's hard to find a pan that's that nonstick for that low of a price. So anyway, remember the queso I made last night? I thought this would make a perfect addition to my little breakfast burritos. So I went ahead and poured that in there and stirred it around. I did add a few jalapenos and some cayenne pepper, just a little bit, because I tasted the mixture and thought that it needed a little bit more spice. But these will be perfect for Adam to eat this week while I am gone. I am using these La Tortilla Factory low carb tortillas. I find these at Walmart. They're actually really good for low carb tortillas if you are looking for some. What I like to do is I like to roll up the burritos into the shells, and then I just toast them in a nonstick skillet on like medium heat, just until they become a little bit brown on both sides. And this helps give the tortillas a little bit of flavor, but then it also helps them hold their shape after they're cooked. Obviously, to heat these up, you know, you just want to heat them up in the microwave, but you just have to toast them for a little bit on either side, and you don't even need any grease in the pan or anything like that. Just kind of wait until they're light golden brown. And like I said, they will stay together a lot easier this way. And I've tried doing breakfast burritos lots of different ways. Adam says they're better when I don't wrap them in parchment or wax paper. When I just put them into a Ziploc bag right like this after they cool, then he can just kind of like heat them up on a paper plate. He says sometimes when I wrap them up, they get a little bit soggy. So I let these cool completely. Obviously, you don't want to put them into the Ziploc bag warm. And then I'm just going to seal those up, and then I'll stick those in the fridge, and he will have those for breakfast this week while I am gone. Okay, so more cleaning up the kitchen. Yes, my kitchen is still a mess. Is my kitchen ever not a mess? No, probably not. I should probably just give up even trying, because number one, I have too much crap, and number two, I have too much crap. I guess there's not a number. I guess there's not a number two. But I really do cook a lot on the weekends, and that leads to me having to load and unload the dishwasher many, many, many times over. I have to say, I have zero complaints about my dishwasher. I freaking love it. It's a Bosch dishwasher. I cannot say the same thing about my fridge, which is a Samsung. That's another topic for another day. You guys have heard me complain about it before, but it's funny. I was actually just looking at some TikToks last night, and they were showing images from like the 1989 Sears catalog. And what's funny is that appliances pretty much cost the same amount as they do now back in the early 90s and late 80s, except now they last like 5 years or less. And refrigerators and stoves and everything like that used to last way longer. Like they were more expensive, obviously, for the time, but they lasted way longer. So it's like, I would almost rather, I don't know, what about you? I would almost rather pay more and know that my refrigerator is going to last like 10 to 15 years than pay less and have it die or be defective after like 4 or 5 years, just because like the pain of getting a new appliance is just so annoying. Like when you have to obviously like replace your refrigerator, you guys know how that goes. It's just like, it's a pain because then you have to coordinate delivery and all that crap. And I don't know, my range is also a Samsung. And while I don't think I would get another Samsung range, I don't really have too many complaints about it. It seems to be pretty accurate. It's a gas stove, so I haven't really had any issues with it. The only thing I would say is that the finish is coming off on the top of the range a little bit. And if I really, really had it to do over, I think I would have installed like a fancier stove when we built our house, but I don't know. At that time, I didn't know I was going to be doing YouTube, so I just thought I just wanted a regular nice stove. Maybe in the future, I don't know. We'll see. You guys saw some flowers there that I got from someone for my birthday, so that was super nice. I was just replacing the water in those, and now I'm just, again, going through my refrigerator. I am going to get some groceries today, which you guys will see that grocery haul at the very end of today, which is Sunday. So I'll show you that here in a little bit, but I don't know. I always try to kind of clean out the fridge before I leave for a work trip, or at least try to, I didn't know I left this in there. Adam like hugging me. I guess I'll leave it in there. Whoop-de-doo. Anyway, I always try to clean the fridge out before I leave, because I know that, and it doesn't even work. Like, okay, I just came back from a work trip this past week, and a lot of the stuff, I shouldn't say a lot of the stuff, some of the stuff I prepped wasn't even used. And so I don't know, I try to do like a good job of like cleaning out the fridge and making everything really like clear to see about what's in there. So like if I have fruit that's washed up or something like that, like I'll try to put it in clear containers or glass jars. That way people are more likely to eat them. Definitely if I put produce in there and it's not washed, ain't nobody gonna eat it. Unless I specifically call home like on Tuesday night and be like, hey, would someone wash those strawberries and cut them up? And even then it's like questionable whether someone would do it or not, because they're so busy going back and forth to practice all night. But anyway, I digress. I thought I would include this clip because it was super cute. Adam has been teaching the kids how to drive just using the lawnmower. So Connor was having a super fun time, just like the blades weren't on. He was just like riding around the yard on the lawnmower. So Adam has been trying to get the kids used to that, just so they can get used to like learning how to steer and things like that. Like I know when I was a kid and my dad always lived out in the country. And so like when I was there, we had 4-wheelers and, tractors and like things like that. And so I kind of learned how to drive before I really learned how to drive. My kids obviously have not really lived on a farm with 4-wheelers or out in the country with 4-wheelers. So they haven't really been exposed to that. So Adam's been trying to kind of teach them how to do that with the lawnmower. So anyway, I got some new coconut flour and I went ahead and decanted that into one of my containers. It's probably time again to do like a pantry declutter, kind of dig through there, see what is expired, see what I'm not using anymore. I always feel like sometimes when I look through my pantry, I'm kind of a hoarder. Like I'm like, oh, I need this almond flour, I'm going to use it for something. And then I never end up using it. Or you know how when you buy like a big container of something to make one recipe and then it just sits there for 2 years. I don't know. I feel like I need to go through and do that. Cause sometimes I look in my pantry and I'm like, why is this such a hot mess? Like this is a pretty big pantry. I should have more room in here. But I digress. Keep on task. Here's my undiagnosed ADHD rearing up while I'm trying to do this voiceover. Okay, so one thing I definitely need to do is probably clean and re-oil my butcher block. I haven't done that in a while. I didn't really have time to do it today because I had some videos to film. So I just went ahead and cleared it off and wiped it off with some just multi-surface spray and some hot water and a rag. I actually have a full video that I made a while back on how I oil my butcher block. So I'll link that down below. Here's all the fruit that I prepared. So yay me. I have a Starbucks cold brew bottle that was empty, and so I'm gonna go ahead and reconstitute some concentrated cold brew that I had. I think this was the Tim Hortons kind. I don't know. It wasn't my favorite. I probably wouldn't buy it again. I think so far my favorite is the Stoke or the Starbucks cold brew. But anyway, I put that in the fridge so I would have that ready to go. These little basket, the kind of like green and orange produce washing baskets, those are also from Temu. You guys will be seeing those in a video soon if you haven't already. And then, you know, I love my OXO salad spinner for soaking and prepping produce. And then these oblong containers for storing produce. I love these. They're super inexpensive on Amazon, so I can leave a link for those down below as well. But I really like them for storing berries. Okay, so now it is getting closer to dinner time, but I'm going to go upstairs and do some laundry. I have been making my family do more and more laundry. I shouldn't say making them. They've been helping out more with laundry. Whatever. It's everyone's responsibility. Like I tell people, I can't do all the things. Other people are going to have to do things too. So Adam's been doing his own laundry for a while. Kira pretty much does her own laundry. Sometimes if I have time, I'll take her clothes out of the dryer and fold them for her, but I don't always have time to do that. And then Connor, usually I will do his, and then he will fold it and put it away. Although he still does need help. Sometimes he will wash his own clothes, but he still needs help, like remembering which way to put in the detergent and everything like that. All right. So it's about 7 p.m. I have been so ridiculously productive today. I don't know if my iron levels came back up or what, but I don't know. I just feel like I've been able to get so much more done this weekend. So I have been basically planning, writing, and cooking and filming all day for Freezer Fit. I had 4 videos to film for them. The reason why I'm like cramming it all into today is because I'm traveling this week and I won't obviously be home to do it. I kind of wish I was going to be home this week so I'd have time to finish everything, but whatever. So I still need to obviously pack for my tomorrow. I have one thing I need to finish up tonight for work. I'm not sure how long it's going to take me, but I'm just going to do it at the end of the night. I have 2 more videos to film, but I don't have to edit those videos tonight. I'll edit them later this week, like in the evening when I'm in my hotel. So right now I'm just sitting out here on the porch. It's actually cool out today. I'm going to just take a little bit of a break before I go back in and film the other 2 videos. I've got everything prepped. Adam's doing his fantasy football draft tonight, so I'm like, get out of the kitchen, get off my first floor, and leave me alone. So I'm going to order groceries. I don't know. I'm sure I can get them delivered by between 9 and 10 or something like that. I'll show you what I end up doing for the meal plan for this week. It's going to be super easy stuff like it is normally because Adam is going to have his hands full taking kids everywhere to practice every single night. I actually kind of feel bad for him, but whatever. He'll figure it out. So I'm thinking like corn dogs. I'm probably going to get some chicken patties because we've got buns. I'll get some Lunchables for the kids' lunches. I already like prepped a bunch of fruit today, so that's good. I already got that out of the way. Maybe I'll cut up some more peppers and put those in the fridge. I'll make sure they've got like cheese and turkey sticks and crackers, applesauce, stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm not too worried. I'm not gonna get any. I've already told myself I'm not gonna get any sleep tonight. It's fine. I'll sleep on the plane tomorrow. All right, so I thought I would show you guys a grocery haul, but I'm just gonna have you unpack the groceries with me because I don't have time to set everything out and do a proper haul. So I did get some Hot Pockets. So these will go in the freezer for, I don't know, after school snacks, quick dinner. Pizza rolls, A couple boxes of corn dogs. I ordered the mini corn dogs, but that was a substitution. I got this cheese ravioli meal for Kira, and I also got her some of this sharp cheddar cheese. This was actually a substitution because I ordered the Great Value. And I substituted that. I had like quite a few substitutions, I think probably because it's Sunday and everyone has gotten their groceries and everything's picked over. Oatmeal cream pies for lunches, mac and cheese. I got some of these Jack's thin crust pizzas. These will be for a quick dinner one night if Adam wants to make pizza. Connor always asks me for mini muffins when I'm gone, so he can have these for breakfast when I'm not here to make him breakfast. Sugar-free Jell-O for lunches. Of course, if you watch my last grocery haul or one of my last grocery hauls, we got the brand name French onion dip, Fairlife milk, blackberries. I didn't really get too much more fruit just because we already had some in the fridge from earlier today that I cleaned up. And then I got a bag of tater tots, a bag of waffle fries, salsa, Google chips in the pantry, a couple packages of turkey sticks, chicken strips, chicken patties. What? Hi. Kira likes this sweet chili sauce for the shrimp, popcorn shrimp that we have in the freezer. And then this is the instead of getting wet food, I've been getting this Purina high protein.
Yummy.
You like dog food? Anyway, the dogs seem to like it. I got some Capri Sun. I got some applesauce, mostly for Connor. Some bananas because we were all out. Ice cream sandwiches, but I already put those away so they wouldn't melt. I got some hot dogs or hot dog buns. I thought I got hot dogs somewhere. Oh yeah, hot dogs. Turkey for Kira. And Lunchables. Chicken nuggets, bologna, and apples, because health. All right, so I'm squeezing in just a tiny bit more produce prep before I go to bed for the night. Yes, I'm crazy. Why do you ask? Okay, so these peppers, I wanted to get them chopped up and put into the fridge. The good thing is that when I came back this time, they actually were eaten up. So you know what I should do is the next time I go on a work trip, I should show you guys like everything I prep and then what the fridge looks like. And then when I get home from my trip, I should show you like what's left and what the fridge looks like. I think that would be interesting. Maybe it would just be interesting for me, but I don't know. I think it would be interesting. Okay, so after I got the rest of my produce washed up, I did go to bed. I did pack at the last minute. I do everything at the last minute. I had to have some Taylor Swift on the way to the airport the next morning. I honestly I loathe super early Monday morning flights more than anything probably right now in my life, but you don't have a choice. And there's nothing that makes me get out of bed faster than having a plane to catch. Otherwise, I'm going to be pushing the snooze button every 15 seconds. So this particular week, I was in Kansas City, which is one of my favorite cities. Had a good visit there, but this is everything I got done this weekend. I was actually pretty impressed with myself. I felt super productive. If you guys want to watch my Chipotle meal prep, you should click right here because that's an awesome video. And if you want 3 bottles of Native Body Wash for $18, you can click the link down below. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Bye.